into a total mess here. You can see where this is broken out here. So it's a PTO driven wood chipper, and it's driven off a PTO stub shaft that I managed to get mounted onto the chopper box on the old harvester. Now, bit of a disaster here. Tyres just after coming off the rim. But look, we'll see what we can do. Need to figure out how to get this wheel off first. First time ever in here now. It's just a big nut. Cap off. Big nut. Obviously a couple of bearings in there. I can see rollers in there. Split pin here, holding the nut on. A forklift is probably one of the more difficult things to get up off the ground because it's so heavy. There's a specialist jack, I think, has a little lip underneath it for lifting these. It kind of goes in underneath the forklift here itself. Needless to say, I don't have one, so I'm kind of improvising here. So this is the only jack strong enough that I have that will lift it, but to get it underneath the forklift is, I don't know, I was thinking about going somewhere here, but it's not that easy to get the wheel on and off then. So the best I can come up with is this bit of steel in here, in the weight block. Maybe take the slack out of it with this, and then have a block of timber here to get me up high enough. So rather than putting steel on steel, I'm actually going to put this little piece of timber in here. So we'll try this. Has anyone else got this problem where you lend tools to somebody and you don't get them back, and then when you go to do a job, your tools aren't there? Well, this is what's just happened to me. Somebody came to borrow my 3/4 socket set yesterday. It hasn't come back. So now, to get this job done, I have to use a Stilton, which isn't ideal, but what do you do? The borrowed horse has hard hooves. There's a simple solution, I suppose. Stop lending tools out, but look, at least this isn't too tight. It is coming easy enough. Gotta keep that clean. Jesus, that's a solid lump of steel. Didn't realise that, but these are actually solid, totally solid blocks of steel with just a bearing both sides. Bearings actually aren't too bad. Get off this other one in here. There we go. So I think it's just pressed on. It's a very specialist job if you're having the right equipment. It must be fairly keeping them out the road decent. Jeez. What happened? This fella sunder, Robbie. Like myself. Every age starting to be. Jesus Christ. I don't think this tyre will be much good now for it, but bring it up for size.
Will he put it on?
He'll be on and you will go. Old combo here, fully loaded. Robbie, you're going to run in a bit of an errand for me here.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
so much a mile of course. So, the main man is just back. Robbie, you were on Discover Ireland tour last.
Cross-border.
Cross-border initiative.
Initiative,
Yeah. And a serious job to get someone that could do this line of work to press on a small little wheel, a little 5-inch wheel on the high stand.
I found him eventually.
And there was a search party out here.
So I heard, but I was oblivious to all that.
Yeah.
Must have
I got the way of that.
Oh, it's good. I tell you, I wasn't prone to not getting it myself.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was all my fault for sending you off in the middle of nowhere. And look, if you didn't know where you were going, we don't hope for the rest of us.
No, I knew exactly where I was going.
Right, well this is my wheel. He said he didn't have a 5-inch, it cannot be got a 5-inch wheel, so it's a 7-inch wheel. Might have to cut it. As he said, it will be a dirty mess, but it is very good to have it that far, Robbie.
Oh yeah.
200-ton press, he said, to do that.
Yeah.
Big baby.
So you
Well,
want to put it on.
Good man, fair play to you. Quite a heavy block of a thing. Just going to try it onto the forklift here and see if it's going to work. So total mess here. You can see where this is broken out here. So this bit is supposed to be in here. The pin that runs right through all of this is actually broken. You'll see it here in bits, so quite a mess. Gonna have to get it stripped first. I will go from there. Pin is broken in bits here, and this boss, what actually happened was this pin broke straight down the middle. A lot of pressure to do that, but when you look at it, it's quite a beast of a ram. It's a 100mm diameter ram on a device that isn't that particularly strong, so this boss has to go back in here somewhere, something like that, weld it all around, new pin. The man that owns this did say he's going to buy a new one. He says it's just so much work done, probably a bit of metal fatigue in it as well, so it's getting pretty old, but he's really stuck for one. He wants to get it up and running today, so we're going to get it going, get it fixed some kind of a way. You'll just see what has actually happened here. This pin is broken in the middle. It's put serious pressure on this boss and this boss. So in order to get in here and weld this both sides and straighten this, I really need to take this part off. So to get this off, I have to drive out these pins, take out these pivot points here. They go left or right, I'm not sure which way, and then I can take this whole unit out. So not sure how that will go, but we'll see. Not a job I particularly like doing in the workshop, but you just see me cutting this pin off here, and I normally cut outside with the grind, but I just can't at the minute. You see my wheel is off, that has disintegrated on the forklift, so I had to resort to cutting inside. Not to worry. So we'll try and get the rest of this welded in around here, and the same in here. It really is just a kind of a limp home job here. Limp home mode, I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know, can't really guarantee this one. So that's it, fixed, all welded up. Not the finest job I have ever done, but it will do. It'll get this man up and running. He is under serious pressure to get a load of wood chip out, and he's no way of loading his wood chipper, so he just said get it fixed, whatever it takes, get it fixed. So it'll keep him going. And look, I'm pretty sure there's a bit of life left in that, but I wouldn't like to guarantee it for years anyway, put it that way, especially the work that he's doing with it. But another little job to do here, last job. You'll see this arm here, this kind of strut, no grease at all in that. It's actually no grease whatsoever on it, so I'm just going to rub a little bit of grease on it here, and yeah, that will be the last job here on this. So the circlip actually popped off on this, so pin and bush grease again, great stuff for the likes of this. There's a grease point on it. It was very hard to get the grease all the way around it, so I just plaster a bit in here. There you go. Lovely job. That's it, job done. Now, so I recorded this about 6 months after the repair on that grapple. I just never got time to go over and record a bit of it in action, so I headed over. It was a nice sunny day here, and as you can see, it's a busy little grapple. This man is processing this firewood into wood chip. This chipper here is driven off an old John Deere Forage Harvester. So it's kind of a pre-YouTube modification that I would have done for this man here, and it was an interesting project at the time. But yeah, it's an old Forage Harvester that the header came off, and so it's a PTO driven wood chipper, and it's driven off a PTO stub shaft that I managed to get mounted onto the chopper box on the old harvester. The problem was he used to hire in a 300 horsepower tractor to drive the chipper. It's a very, very, very high power requirement to work a machine like that. So he ended up buying this old Forage Harvester. I think it's a 280 horsepower John Deere engine in it, and really, really good machine for this job. It's working really well.
But yeah, we'll get a look at the wood chip now in a second. Anyway, that's a look at something a bit different today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.